I'm Josie Laing and I'm from the Hefner Museum of Natural History at Miami University. Today, let's talk about why species can go extinct and how humans are involved. Over 99% of the species that have existed on Earth are now extinct. The lifespan of a species is between 1 and 10 million years depending on the type of organism. How could we possibly know this? Well, thanks to the discovery of fossils, we can use clues to see which species went extinct, how organisms evolved from them, and perhaps to be able to piece together an explanation for why they went extinct. There are a number of ways fossils can be formed, and here are some examples. This is a fossil of an ammonid called an ammonite. They are an extinct group of cephalopods that are related to present-day forms of the nautilus. This is an example of a fossil that was gradually replaced by materials such as silica as it was decaying, leaving behind an exact depiction of what the organism could look like. This process is called petrification and can also be seen in fossilized plants such as trees. This is a piece of petrified wood, and over time, as the cell walls decayed, they were replaced by silica as well, leaving behind a complete three-dimensional form. Another way organisms can fossilize is by casting. This is when an organism is buried in a soft material, such as clay, that hardens over time, and then as the organism decays, a gap is left in the exact shape of the organism as it was. This is a cast of a fern. Ferns can date all the way back to 360 million years ago and are considered living fossils because they have changed very little over that period of time and still exist today. Species come and go throughout history. It's a natural phenomenon. But while extinction is inevitable in the dynamic world, through looking at fossil records, we can see that the current rate of extinction is quite high, and it is evident that humans are responsible for speeding up the process. The dying out or extinction of a species is the result of either environmental forces or evolutionary changes in its individuals. Some causes of extinction include habitat loss, natural disasters, climate change, competition for resources, overpredation, pollution, loss of biodiversity, and the introduction of invasive species. This is a large number of causes, and unfortunately, we are responsible for facilitating most of them, directly or indirectly. Many species have suffered habitat loss and fragmentation from human activities like deforestation and oil exploration all over the world. When a species' habitat is limited, population sizes shrink. This lowers the overall genetic diversity of a species, which is the range of genetic variation in a species that allows for adaptations to arise. Survival and evolution take time, so when species experience rapid change, the likelihood of survival is uncertain. An example of a species that has suffered the consequences of some of these causes is the golden toad of the tropical cloud forest. This toad was endemic to a small reserve in Costa Rica, which means it was only found in this area. They experienced a significant decline along with other frogs and toads within the area. There is still some debate of how exactly it went extinct, but one thing we do know is that there was no direct human intervention with the toad's habitat. This leads us to believe that the extinction was a result of climate change. Because the golden toad was endemic to the area, it was specifically adapted to the local climate of the cloud forest. The cool, high altitude, and moist environment is getting drier and hotter with climate change. Because amphibians breathe through their skin, they were extra sensitive to ultraviolet radiation, increased temperatures, and pollutants. These effects weaken the golden toad, making it vulnerable to the fungus called chytrid, which has been affecting amphibians worldwide. The last of the golden toad was last seen in 1987 and is now deemed extinct. This is just one instance among many. Now you may be asking, why should we care about the extinction of species if it has occurred for millions of years? The answer is in the interconnectedness of the entire planet. We may not see every purpose of every organism, but that does not mean they aren't there. We rely on the planet for everything we need to survive. The extinctions happening today are not of natural causes. There are not new species filling the roles of ones we are affecting. Overall, change is constantly happening, but evolution and survival are all about gradual change. To prevent further extinctions, conversations need to be had about how we need to adapt in our own ways to sustain the future of the species we coexist with. Thanks for spending time with me learning about fossil records and species extinctions. This video supplements some of the Hefner Museum Discovery Trunks education kits you may check out for use. See the website miamioh.edu/Hefner Museum for more information.